Moving on now, let's try adding some of the filters that we had. Have a look at the data first. We can add branches at city. Let's try adding branches first. We'll add product line. We'll add the date as well, and we'll add a customer type. Erase this for now. We'll add it later. In Streamlit, it's called sidebar. So we can add a sidebar header as well. So we can call it filters. Let's call in the parameters that we want. So selected branches. For the branches, we want a multi-select option. That means that we want to select multiple branches at once, or we want to select one, or not none, but at least one of them. Use the multi-select option here. We'll just add select branch, and the options that we want are data and the branch column. We want the unique values only here. So, and then by default, unique as well. So if we just go back and rerun, as you can see, it gets added and it's a multi-select, so you can select multiple branches as well. And we have that header here. Now we can do the same for the others. We can kind of just copy paste this. For the others, we can name selected product, select product line, and here as well. And then the last one, we want customer. So selected customer. So select customer type. We can just play around with it. We can remove a few filters, and it allows us to add them back as well. For the date, it's a bit different. We want the minimum and the maximum date as well, so that you don't have to select other dates. So for instance, minimum date, we do the same with the max. For the filter that we have, so selected date, and in this case, it would be called a date input one. So sidebar dot date underscore input, right? Select date range, and the value would be minimum date and maximum date. And by default, we can add the minimum value. If we just go back and rerun, sidebar, it has the date range. So if we just do this and we can select date, so 1 till 1, right? And if you click again, we can go ahead. See, it doesn't let us go any further since it's only till 30th March. So we can do that. Show the data again here. I'll show you an error right now. Let me just filter the data. Filter data, let's say would be data from branch. For branch would be is in our selected branch, and then we can kind of just repeat this. We can do product line is in selected product, and then customer type is in selected customer. This would allow us to filter the data not based on the filters that we had, the multi-select options and the date range. Date. And for this, we can do is greater than equal to, we can have selected date 0 and less than equal to selected date 4. We just add the date time again for now. Once we have the filter data, we can try and writing st.data frame, and we can show the filtered data. If we just filter it out, let's say we just want branch A. So I think it just shows branch A. Now, one error that I want to show you is exactly this one. Just select one option. So it says index out of range. The reason why it says this is because we let it filter the data and we didn't select the date here as well. So it doesn't know what to do here. So we can just add in another check here. So if not selected date, let's say, or length of selected date is not 2, so we don't have 2 inputs, we can just give a warning here. Please select a valid range, valid date range. If we just rerun and we select again, we can add that over there. And for the filtered data as well, we can add it if it's empty. Please select. There you go. It says please select a valid date range. So if you select it now, show it properly. Try making some key metrics, right? So once you have this, we can just erase that. Let's try making some metrics of, let's say we want to make one for sales, for income, and for rating and for quantity, right? Since we're using filtered data, we can just write filtered data. We can use total for the total sales, and we can write filtered data total. We want to round it off by 1, right? Or 2, let's say. We can repeat this and we can do gross income, rating. We've rounded them off here. Now we want to calculate the metrics. So total sales would be filtered data, total sum, then same everywhere. It's total income or gross underscore income, and then total quantity and average rating. Again, same here as well. For rating, we would want to do average or mean, let's say, since it's a rating, we don't want to sum it up. We can add them here. So let's give it a header. So a subheader, call this key metrics. If we just add one of the metric like this, st.metric total sales, we want to show it like this. So we can write this F and we can write total sales. One F would meet by rounding it out of 1. We can do that. We might not need this as well if we want to do this. That's perfectly fine. If we do this, and let's say we do it for one more as well, gross income for total sale, it says. But if you do this, for instance, so as you can see, it shows it in a row-wise format. We want them side by side. Since we're defining 4 metrics, we want 4 columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and then st.columns. And since there are 4 columns, we'll do this. With column 1, we'll do this. And we're just going to do that with the rest as well. I can just bring them from here as well. If we rerun it, now as you can see, it's in 4 columns. For the rating, we can just do 2F again. There we go. Let's try building some visualizations. In our old dashboard, we had a sales branch, total sales by branch. Let's do this here as well. We can just do sales by branch, and we can do the filter data again. We're going to group by using branch, using total as well. This way we can look at sales using branch A, branch B, branch C. We can sum it up. Since we've already filtered it out, we can round it off. We don't need to round it off again. And we can give it a header again here. So sales, total sales by a branch. And we can just create the figure. So we can use Plotly for this. We can use px bar. We can use sales by branch. And so for x-axis, we want branch. For y-axis, we want the total. For a title, let's say, we can just set it as total sales by branch. Text, let's say total. There's one more thing here. If I just run this, for instance, let's just say, let me just run this first and I'll show you something. We can just do Plotly charts for now. We can just round it off again. I think it might not have rounded off for this one. Let's say we want these to be kind of a continuous color, right? You can see it's kind of messed up. It's a dark blue, kind of green here, and a pinkish color here. There's a function called color Plotly, allows you to use it. There are many other names. For now, we can just test, for instance, I think it's called teal. So let me just add a comma there. You can use any you want. I've used this for this one. So that's it. And now we can just build some more. We want to build these charts. Now you can visualize the sales and the ratings by product line. We'll use Plotly again for this. We'll do sales by product first. The idea here is the same. We'll do this. You can just do product line. You can total it again. You can use total here again. You can just do sales by product, or let's say average rating by product. Use average rating for now. Let's not round it off for now. Average rating. We're going to group by using product line. Now we can round it off using the same method. If we use sales by product here. And again, we're going to give a header for this. Again, the idea here is the same. We're going to divide it into 2 columns. We're just going to copy it from here and sales by branch. What we've done here is we've defined the 2 columns here. We've done with column 1, we use px.bar again. We've given it x-axis, the total, and y for product line. We've given the title, and here we've given the discrete sequence here again. For now, we'll use plasma and other one. Same here for product line, for average rating as well. Let's just save this, and if you go back, there might be an error here. Now you can just remove, and you can see it updates as well. Let's try adding the pie charts. They're row wise. We'll add them column wise as well. It's quite simple. We're just gonna take it from here. You can just define this again like that. Do the width column again here as well. But for now, we're gonna let it stay the same. As you can see, it says sales distribution by customer type, kind of. Let's just remove that. You can see sales by distribution by customer type and payment method. And we can add more as well. You can see another category pops up as well. For the last, we're going to do the same again. Let's say the webinar dashboard. We can add a description and we can just create the repository here. In my case, I've already made one, as I showed you. You can just upload the files there. Once they're uploaded, you've uploaded the requirements.txt. As I said, you include the libraries here. You include the CSV file here, and you just go back here to share.streamlit, and you just have to click create app. Here it gives you the option of deploying a public app from templates. Just click this. You can look at it. Like, for instance, it already gives you some templates to work with, so you don't have to create a blank app, but we've already made one. You can just click deploy now. Since my Streamlit is connected to my GitHub, so it'll show me the repository that I have. I can select any that I want. So webinar, since I've already made that one, since it's identified the main file here, and I can name it to whichever I want, and I hit deploy, and it'll deploy instantly. One more thing, we have the webinar dashboard here. Let's say you're working with an OpenAI key and you don't want to add that in the GitHub code, right? You'll add that over here. So you call it API key, and you'll give the key here and you save the changes, and all you have to do is substitute that key with this variable. It'll automatically identify it for you and change it for you. That's all there it is for creating a dashboard and deploying it. So one more thing, if you just go to Streamlit again. So we'll just open up Streamlit documentation. As I mentioned, you can connect Google Sheets. You just use the CSVs. You can connect many of these databases. You can use a public Google Sheet. You can use a private Google Sheet. And if you click on any, it'll show you how to do it. That's quite simple. Some other resources that you should know about: Streamlit documentation. As I just showed you, it's quite resourceful. If you use it, you need to know about any function. You can just search it up. I'll just show you right now again. And then when you're creating dashboards, sometimes you hit a dead end, you don't know what to do. You can take inspiration from the Streamlit gallery, where they upload different dashboards and web apps. You can take inspiration from them. You can look at their code. I'll just show you again. And the best way to learn is you keep experimenting. You keep making different web apps. You keep making different dashboards, and that's how you learn. If I just go back to Streamlit, and so let's say I click on concepts for deployment, it'll show me anything. If I search it up, let's say I search, since I don't know about Markdown, I'll click Markdown, st.markdown, and it'll show me how to use this, and it'll give me an example as well. Here, st.markdown, It's done in italic and then in bold, a bold one. Streamlit would be italic and then bold. That's how you use Markdown. You can use it in a bit more advanced way as well. You can add, for instance, colon red, Streamlit. That's quite simple. And for the Streamlit gallery, all you need to do is just go to Streamlit gallery. Now here they share different web apps. So for people, you can go to trending ones. If you just click on, let's say, Streamlit made once. If I just click here, it'll open up and just give it a time. And that's something made by Streamlit themselves. You can use their OpenAI key. For instance, they made it as a chatbot. If you just click the GitHub code here, it'll take you to the repo and there you go. That's their code for it. They've used different Python files. They have the requirements.txt as well here to look at the libraries that they've used. You can take inspiration from these dashboards or web apps that they have.